This is the third Granny teach-in dealing with closing U.S. bases on foreign soil.
The first message is that I think we need to redefine the word peace. The word peace and the word security, we all know that peace is not about the absence of war. Peace is building democratic, inclusive, multicultural societies. We in Ecuador, in our government, has understood that to have a peaceful society is not that we don't need a war. Ecuador hasn't had a war for a long, long time, but for us, the only way to build a peaceful society is about social justice and about equity and about environmental sustainability. And that for us is extremely important. The second issue is that, of course, Ecuador is one country, but we communicate with other countries. We share ideas. We know that we have, that it is time for us to build our own destiny. And on that front, one of the things when we started the campaign of our compañero presidente Rafael Correa, one of the issues was to end the contract that Ecuador had to keep the Manta military base in Ecuador. And at the time I had the fortune to be the foreign minister, and I have to say that that was one of my key struggles. I made sure in the 3 meetings I had with Secretary Rice to make that statement and to let her know that Ecuador is a sovereign country. Above all, it is a peaceful country. And it wasn't only a decision of compañero Rafael Correa or myself as foreign minister. It was the dream and the will of the Ecuadorian people, because we are a peaceful country. And fortunately, the contract of Manta ends in 2009, and it's going to end in 2009. Beyond all the pressure we have received, and believe me, I cannot share with you all the details, but we have received great pressure to maintain and to renew the contract for 10 more years. And of course, we're not going to do that.
The ambassador talked very briefly about the difference between Ecuador and Colombia. And I think Colombia more and more has become the model of how the U.S. is trying to project its power in a region that is fast slipping out of control. Plan Colombia, which was put into place in the late 1990s, was an enormous infusion, billions of dollars, in order to fight the so-called war on drugs. Using private mercenary contractors and basically giving Colombia a free hand to militarize what should be treated as a social problem. But not only are you seeing Colombia held up as a model for Colombia, you're seeing an increasing attempt to export it elsewhere, to franchise the Colombia solution to other countries, particularly to Central America and to Mexico. There's been a big push in the last couple of years of basically replicating what they call Plan Colombia under what's known as the Merida Initiative. I think is pretty much gets at the heart of how Washington has sought to counter this rise of democracy and expansion of democracy in Latin America. It's basically trying to turn Mexico, Central America, and Colombia into a security zone, a militarized security zone, integrated in terms of energy, in terms of communication, in terms of roads. It's a number of different mechanisms, not just the Merida Initiative, but things like Plan Puebla-Panama, which is an integrate Central America, Colombia, and Mexico in terms of its electric grids, in terms of its oil refining potential, in terms of its communication and road networks. You have things like the Merida Initiative, which is specifically an attempt to militarize Mexico's growing problem with drugs, which incidentally is caused by is a direct consequence of the war on drugs. And you have other things like the Peace and Prosperity Partnership, which Secretary of State for Latin America Thomas Shannon, in a moment of candor, described it as armoring NAFTA. basically providing this kind of militarized infrastructure in order to contain dissent against this failed policy of neoliberalism.
There are great, great institutions afoot here, both governmental institutions and corporate institutions. And as Greg said, Plan Connecticut, United Technologies, Blackwater. There's a lot of money that's been floating around from the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War that's being rat-holed by some of these corporations, that they're going to be bringing it out to put pressure on the new president of the United States to say, you really need to keep these plans in play. We know better than you. You're just a short-term senator, and gosh, you haven't been president for very long, so let us tell you what the plan really ought to be. There are a lot of things that we need to be very, very watchful of as this transition to what I believe will be a tremendous presidency. But it's only going to be tremendous when we, the people, are very watchful and vigilant about what's going on. The military has a lot of, and peacetime engagement is one of them, although we don't seem to be at peace right now. War on drugs, war on terror, humanitarian and civic assistance, disaster assistance. Having been in the military so very long and having been in a part of the military called psychological operations. An orchestrated attempt to turn people's views of what's really going on, to make whatever the United States does look more favorable in the eyes of the people that are kind of the victims of it. I would say we the people of the United States, we know that psychological operations are being used on us. We know that the political parties are using it. We know that the military is using it. This idea of how are you going to get 100,000 more people to join up with the military, which is Barack Obama's, one of his ideas. How are you going to do it? How are you going to tempt young men and women to go into the military where the recruitment rates are so low already? What are you going to do there? All what they're going to be doing in the most generous, benign terms, and you're going to offer them lots of money. So as a final comment, I know that many of you all are involved not only in U.S. out of bases throughout the world, but you're also a part of Truth in Recruiting, counter recruitment in the high schools here. So I want you to, I plead with you, don't stop your efforts on this. Don't stop your efforts, because it's all fine. The militarization of our own country and the militarization by the United States of the rest of the world is something that we have to continue to fight against, even with this new presidency. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you again. Thank you.